Our top news tonight, new revelations on the tenuous nature of international geopolitics. Reports alleging that Israel pulled military trade agreements with Ukraine off of the table so as to avoid upsetting Russia. Unofficial arms negotiations between Israel, the United States, and Ukraine, leaving out a key line item from Kyiv's military wish list. Much to Ukraine's disappointment, Jerusalem pulling the sale of the Iron Dome missile defense system over fears that it would annoy, if not anger, Russia. After seeing the Iron Dome in action against Hamas in May 2021, several states expressing interest in purchasing the system and approaching both Israel and the United States to make a deal. Because the Iron Dome was developed through a joint Israeli-American effort, both Jerusalem and D.C. must sign off on any sale. And Ukraine, under increasing stress from Russia, among the clients looking to buy both the Iron Dome as well as the American Patriot missile system. But though the United States, as a fairly independent world power, is looking to advance the deal, Israel's under a different set of circumstances. While Washington taking the opportunity to help counter Moscow's influence, Jerusalem's faced with the decision of either disappointing Ukraine and the U.S. by refusing requests to sell, or angering Russia and risking confrontation with the Putin regime. And as Russia is actively deployed in Syria, Israel's northern neighbor, Jerusalem ultimately deciding not to follow through with the deal. Thankfully for Israel's sake, the Biden administration, reportedly understanding of Israel's need to, quote, tread lightly and exhibit responsible and sensitive behavior, end quote. Now, meantime, in another move that's starting to upset Kyiv, Israel pressing harder in the campaign to get Israelis out of Ukraine while insisting on non-involvement in the conflict. Extra flights being scheduled to aid in ongoing evacuation efforts, COVID tests requirements for travel to Israel from Ukraine have been scrapped, and Wix, for one, temporarily relocating some 1,000 Ukrainian staff and their families to Turkey and Poland. Officials from Ukraine, however, urging Israel and others to get more involved and to help in cooling tensions, arguing that the calls to flee are only creating panic and hurts the Ukrainian economy as investors get spooked and pull their money out of state. ILTV Plus, your news from Israel and more 24/7. Start your free trial today. Subscribe at iltv.tv and watch from any device.